For your own safety, make sure your machine is properly switched off before carrying out any maintenance or changing needles.
Okay, so it's important to keep your sewing machine well maintained, and one of the things that you can do to quickly maintain your machine is actually to change your needle when it's come to its end. Machine needles are supposed to have a shelf life of 8 hours sewing. Sometimes if you've been working with bulky fabrics or you've accidentally hit a pin or your needle has broken, you obviously are going to need to change your needle. So we are going to just change our needle here. If you have a little look at this point here, there's a little screw, and this little screw is attached to the needle shaft here. So it's pinning the needle into place. So I'm just going to release the needle screw here, and I'm going to just draw the needle out just by holding it and bringing it out. If you have a look at a needle will have a flat back and a curved front, and on the curved front you often see the tiny printed, etched information about that needle. So if you have a look in the resources section, there's a whole list of the different types of needles that you can use for the different fabrics and the different sizes of needles for the different projects. So we are going to put a new needle in. So I've taken my new needle and I'm making sure that the flat is to the back, and I can then put that back up into the shaft there and retighten my screw. Now don't over tighten the screw because you can damage the thread on the screw there, but you do want to make sure that it's secure. So just taking the little screwdriver, just do a tiny 1/16, 1/8 of a turn, just a little bit more than your hands or fingers can screw it up, and that's going to be enough to secure it into place and stop the needle from dropping out as you're sewing.
Slightly tighter than finger tight.
Slightly tighter than, yes, that's a good one. Slightly tighter than finger tight. Brilliant. Write that down, Nick. Okay. Another area of home maintenance is actually to keep the feed dogs clear of fluff and dust. So we are going to remove our bobbin plate, and we are now going to lift the needle plate on this machine. So there are some screws here that we need to just gently ease open. If you've never unscrewed your needle plate before, you may find that it's quite tough to begin with, where it's come straight out of the manufacturers. And we're going to lift our needle plate, just carefully lift your needle plate and take it out. And what you'll see is a lot of fluff and dust in here. So we're just going to take a little brush and we're just going to brush away the fluff and dust. Don't blow it, because if you blow, you're blowing it down into the machine. So take a brush and just brush that fluff away. I always say it's important after certain projects, especially wool or felt projects, because the dust that builds up on these underneath the needle plate creates a lot of havoc. So that's going to keep all the feed dogs happily walking along, because there's nothing in there to keep them from moving properly. And that's going to keep the bobbin shuttle as well nicely moving along. And we just need to then pop our plate back on and tighten it up. So in your manual for your machine, there should be a good guide as to how to keep your machine clean. And if it's a non-oil machine, then we don't oil, but if it is a machine that requires oiling, your manual will tell you where to do that.